Yo, what is going on, Show Nation? It's Showtime. Welcome to your number one MLB The Show podcast, where we cover everything from Diamond Dynasty to franchise. As always, I am your gracious host, C-Brev. Today is episode 4 on April 5th of 2019. Today, we're going to go over another March to October update. As you guys know, this is the game mode that I'm spending the most time in, and I had a really cool accomplishment that I want to share with you guys, so we'll go over that first. Briefly, we'll go over team affinity exchanges, how people have been talking about them instead of doing March to October, and how I feel about them. Then we'll cover the new moments that were put in the game today. Those include Sony partner moments and Tops Now moments. And then finally, we'll talk about the event ending on Monday, which is April 8th, and what I think the next event will be. So starting off, March to October update, we finished our 4th team on Legend already, and this time was the San Francisco Giants, which I'm super proud of. I think they're one of the hardest teams in the game to get this done with, so we did beat March to October on Legend with the Giants. It was a hell of a season. With about 50 games left, I was like 5 games under 500, and the screen was actually flashing danger and flashing yellow every time I'd get out of a moment. So it was trying to tell me that I'm probably going to miss the playoffs, which was super encouraging, as you can tell. But somehow we scratched and clawed. We made it to the wild card game. We ended up walking off the wild card game in the 9th inning against the Phillies. We played the Dodgers in the DS and the Cubs in the CS, won both of those series. And then, man, the World Series was absolute hell. We played against the Red Sox, which pretty much hard countered my team. Because if you think about it, the Giants starters and their closer are all left-handed. So throwing left-handed pitchers at the Red Sox is just not a good time, especially on Legend. And then I had to go ahead and face Chris Sale 3 times, so that wasn't very fun either. Gonna be posting some of those moments, specifically Game 4 on the YouTube channel, just because it was such an insane game, and I actually ended up taking that World Series in 6 against the Boston Red Sox. I was very pumped. I don't think I've ever been so excited in an offline game mode before, and that's why I absolutely love this March to October stuff this year, because it's all or nothing. It adds to the pressure in the playoffs, and when you accomplish something like I did, man, what a great feeling to win the World Series with the 30th power lineup according to the game, in the entire game. So super proud about that. Wanted to share it with y'all. As far as my next March to October, which will be my 5th, I'm gonna go for the Cubs, because my Diamond Dynasty squad does not have a catcher yet and is also in desperate need of a left-handed power bat. And so that Kyle Schwarber is going to be the perfect answer for what my lineup is missing at the moment. So stay tuned for an update on the Cubs season. Hopefully I'll have that done by Monday, which will be the next podcast. So you guys will get to hear about that one. All right, sweet. So moving into these team affinity exchanges, if you haven't heard, the Team Affinity Diamonds, you get them at 50% in the program, and there are currently 2 ways that people are getting the 50% to get these players. So the first way is to beat March to October on Hall of Fame or Legend, which will give you 50 or 60% respectively. That's the way that I've been going about it, obviously, because I love March to October. But the other way is you can do 190,000 points of exchanges of players. People have been doing the 74 overall bronze cards, which are about 1,541 exchange points each. So people have been saying they've been getting these Team Affinity Diamonds for between about 12K and 25K stubs. And so that'll get you 45% towards the program, and then you can get the last 5% by playing 250 innings with players from that team, which if you make all 9 players in your lineup from that team, it's about 3 full-length games against the computer on Rookie. So I've seen a lot of stuff online that are just saying, why would you even bother with March to October, because if you don't win the World Series, you don't get anything, and the exchanges are way better. And so from what I've seen, the consensus has been to just do the exchanges to get the players, and I wanted to talk about how I kind of disagree with that a lot. I also put a YouTube video out on this topic. But basically, I don't know if these exchanges are worth it because people don't think about how you're throwing those stubs away forever. So when you exchange players, they're gone forever. So the stubs you spend on them are obviously gone forever, and then you're left with a no sale card. So if you do team exchanges and you spend 20K and you end up with an 85 Kyle Schwarber, for example, that's 100% not worth it to me in the long run, because even if you bought a live series catcher, it would have some resale value in the near future. So if you spent that 20K on a catcher, even like 3 months from now, you could probably get 12K back after taxes. Whereas if you spend it on a team affinity player, you're never going to see any of those stubs back. So you have to factor in all the investing opportunity or what other players you could be missing out on by just throwing those stubs away essentially into an exchange. So I really think that March to October is the way to go, because it makes those players free, basically. And if you really want the player that bad, then I think you can handle the March to October. If you want to look into opportunity costs and say, well, it'll take me 8 hours to do March to October, I'd rather just spend the stubs, then my advice would be to deliberately spend 8 hours flipping cards to make stubs. If you're just pulling stubs from your bank and putting them into these no-sell players this early in the year that are probably going to get replaced by XP rewards alone in the long run, then I don't think that's a good move. So that's just my 2 cents about it. I won't talk too much more about it. I will say the exchanges may be necessary for worse players with bad teams. So some examples would be the Juan Marichal for the Giants, the Hal Newhouser for the Tigers. Those March to October seasons, also Zach Britton of the Orioles, those seasons are going to be really rough on Hall of Fame for a bad player because the teams are so bad. So if you really want those cards and you're not good at the game, then I would recommend the exchanges. Otherwise, I do not. All right. So third thing we're going over today is the new moments that were put into the game today. So the first one is Sony Partners. Basically, you get thrown into a game mode with some YouTuber or streamer that's associated with San Diego Studios and Sony, and you do some moments. As far as what I've been seeing so far, they seem easier than the other moments, which is good news. I'm just generally not a fan of moments at the moment, no pun intended, because I'm not a big fan of Road to the Show, and I wish they would have done moments not like Road to the Show, but they are like that. So I have done the Bryce Harper one all the way through, and I started the Willie Mays, but I just can't bring myself to finish it. It's just a lot of variance, I feel, and it's not terribly engaging is what I want to say. It's just not a fun game mode to me. So we'll see if I do these. If they're quick and easy, I probably will. The other series of moments that was added is Tops Now. So there's going to be 30 of these, they said, and 10 of them came out today. And it looks like these are going to be leading into what's going to be this year's version of Player of the Month. So they said doing these programs will give you vouchers for an early May program, basically, that will be associated with players that did well in April. So that sounds like Player of the Month to me. So basically your reward for doing these Tops Now moments is going to be vouchers towards a Player of the Month. So that's pretty cool. Nobody knows how many of these vouchers it's going to take to get the player, or how useful these vouchers are going to be. But for now, I'm just going to do them, and we'll wait and see come early May. And then lastly, I wanted to talk about events. So the Play Ball event is going to end on Monday, which is April 8th. That's the one that gives Cliff Lee as a reward. This event wasn't terribly fun, but it was also quick. The cumulative reward was at 20 wins, so no complaints from me there. I wanted to talk about what I think the next event will be, and it's kind of consistent with how SDS has done it in the past years. So I think the next event will be something along the lines of you can only use Legends and Flashbacks, and I think they do this intentionally because they want people to start doing collection rewards at this point of the year. So if you think about by the third week of the season, people have spent money on stubs, and now those stubs are gone away. So how do you get people to put more money back into stubs again? Well, you encourage them to get hard to get Legends and Flashbacks, which most of those are associated with live series collections. So that's my prediction. I would not be shocked at all if that was true. I could also see them doing something like a Gold and Diamond only season for much of the same reasons, to encourage people to spend stubs in the marketplace on higher end collections or cards. So that's my prediction for events. That's going to be it for the podcast today. Kind of a quick one. But I really didn't have much to go over. It's only been a couple days since the last one, and nothing has really happened in the show community. So, as always, thank you for listening, and I'll catch you guys in the next podcast, which will be on Monday, April 8th.